Well, hello there. We have a free agency tracker video, which is, I'm going to start doing this. It's Thursday, June 29th, i.e., one day from now. The period where you can negotiate with players in free agency begins. And then, as crazy it is, July, the month of July, is Saturday. But in the NBA world, Saturday means free agency officially begins. So it's going to be a very, very, very hectic weekend. And the Houston Rockets are going to have also a very hectic weekend. If you guys haven't been aware, we're likely to sign Freddie Double V. We're likely to sign Dylan Brooks. I'm going to leave all of that at the door. In today's video. And we're going to talk about Mo Wagner. I think I'm going to do Dante DiVincenzo next. I'm not quite sure Dante DiVincenzo is going anywhere but the New York Knicks. So today we're going to talk about Mo Wagner because here's what's going down. Ooh, that was probably quite loud on the video. I apologize for that. That was a gnat. They're all over this apartment for some reason. Guys, hit the like button, hit the sub button. Oh, also, I live stream every day on this channel called Let's Talk Rockets. It's in podcast form on Apple and Spotify, and links are down below. Brook Lopez contract is rumored to be like around $16 to $20 million a year. So if you ask me, Brook Lopez is remaining with the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, I don't really know if Milwaukee is prepared to pay him a fat contract at 35 years old. Houston is. Sam Vecini, the guy who does like a deep dive on the NBA draft, like a big, deep mock draft every year. I think he works for The Athletic. I think he was on a podcast and he was mentioning how the last thing the Rockets should do is go after Brook Lopez, because if he was Alperen Şengün and they signed Brook Lopez, he would be a little pissed off. I'm a little bit somewhere in the middle of Brook Lopez is a phenomenal two-way athlete. Was in heavy consideration last year for Defensive Player of the Year, All-Star candidate at 35 years old. He played 78 games. He played over 30 minutes a night. Brook Lopez was a dog. Brook Lopez is a great center. Very successful NBA career, and even at this age is still producing. I don't want him on the Houston Rockets, ideally. All right, ideally. And it has nothing to do with money. We could throw him a $40 million contract for 2 years. It's just not something I'm really trying to do because of the fit, not because of the money. Alperen Şengün was traded. We traded up for Alperen Şengün. We basically traded for Alperen Şengün. We gave up 2 first-round picks in the process for it. Last season, he has a sneaky good rookie year, right, where we see the potential. So that upcoming summer, he works with Mr. Hakeem, who every Rocket fan knows. And depends on who you asked if he added tricks to his bag. I definitely think he improved last season, obviously. But we went into camp and Bruno won. Like, I was at the Houston Rockets home opener. Shout out Jorge, shout out HB. I was at the Houston Rockets home opener, and Bruno Fernando was the starting center. He ended up getting hurt, I think, relatively quickly in the first quarter. Alperen Şengün comes in, and the Rockets never looked back, really, with him being in the starting lineup. I mean, Şengün last year, 15 points, almost double-digit rebounds, great assist numbers. We saw, better shooting. We saw better free throw shooting. We saw better efficiency down below. We saw a lot to be thrilled with Alperen Şengün in his second season. So I get it. We're trying to win basketball games. We're trying to get back into the playoffs. But Brook Lopez, for me, whether Şengün rides the bench, Brook Lopez wouldn't be a bench player, by the way. Whether Şengün's riding the bench or Şengün's playing the 4, which gets me a little excited to see Şengün at the 4. I look at a guy named Jabari Smith Jr., and I'm like, I'd just rather have Jabari be the starting 4 next season than Şengün being the 4 and possibly Lopez at the 5. I'd rather just give the keys to Şengün this upcoming season with Ime Udoka, not Stephen Silas, because that's important, because there were several games last season where Alperen Şengün just didn't play in the fourth quarter. Like, arguably the Rockets' best player last year, like several fourth quarters or just, the later, ending 4 minutes, just being benched, just not playing because of fit, defense. Whatever, blah, 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 blah. Also, by the way, Daishen Nix got waived today, and Ty Washington Jr., who was in the G League for a lot of the season, dropped 53 in a G League game. Dacian Nix was prioritized over him. So we're in a new era. We're in the Ime Udoka era, which is the only concern I have for a Brook Lopez signing, which would just be like, limiting Şengün in some type of way. And that's what brings us to Mo Wagner, because on these live streams that we're doing every day, we're like, all right, for me, if Brook Lopez isn't my guy, who's going to be the backup center? Well, Mo Bamba just got waived or cut or released or whatever the word is from the Lakers today. So Mo Bamba is an intriguing guy. Mo Wagner's an intriguing guy. I saw that the Rockets are interested in Jakob Poeltl. The Rockets are interested in every single free agent. Like the top 25 free agents, it feels like the Rockets are interested in. I don't think Jakob Poeltl makes any sense on the Rockets. Mason Plumlee, backup center. That's fine for me. I just don't think it's going to happen. Who else is up there? I feel like I'm missing somebody. Christian Wood, even though he's not a center, is one of the top center free agents available. So you have Dwight Powell. You have Mo Wagner, you have Mo Bamba, you have all the guys I just mentioned. The issue with these bench centers is most of them aren't great rim protectors. Like Mo Wagner this past season had a career year. Let's pull up his stats. 10.5 points, all right? 50% from the field, 31.5% from downtown. He's not great three-point shooter, but for a big man, he's a good shooter. 4.5 rebounds. 1.5 assists. He only played 19.5 minutes a game. 0.2 blocks. So this is not a crazy rim protector. Dwight Powell, same thing applies. Not a crazy statistical rim protector. But at the same time, man, we just saw the Denver Nuggets win the championship without a rim protector. So long term, I really am genuinely convinced that our big men are going to be Jabari Smith Jr. and Alperen Şengün. I don't want to really mess with that quite yet, but I get it at the same time. Jabari's young. Mo Wagner, to me, is just a nice low-risk, high-reward move. And this is something I would do if we were to actually go out and acquire Freddie Double V, Rockford's finest, and Dylan Brooks, which, like I said, is becoming likely. But don't believe everything you see, because I woke up this morning and on our NBA show, I'm talking about Andre Drummond's planning on going to the Dallas Mavericks. I'm thinking tampering. And then a couple hours later, he accepts his player option and remains with the Chicago Bulls. So it's like, it's hard to trust. Kyrie Irving's meeting with the Phoenix Suns tomorrow night when free agency begins. Like, it's just listening to reports right now is just, be a little bit wary of it, right? So are the Rockets actually going to go for Fred? Are they going to go for Brooks? Are they going to go for Brook? I think they're going to go for all three. Most likely they land two of them. If it's going to be Dylan, if it's going to be Fred, I think Mo Wagner, I'm not saying the Rockets need to sign this man. I'm not saying this guy should be our backup center next season, but I think it's worth looking into. 26 years old. He just, especially on the defensive side, he just gets kind of under people's skin. He's a smart basketball player. I'm not saying he's going to break out and be a star center, because that's what Alperen Şengün's going to do. So I like it. I like the fit as far as he's not going to get in the way of Şengün, and he's just a sturdy, solid, reliable backup center with a high upside still. Let me know what you guys are thinking. That's it for today. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. Once again, Let's Talk Rockets is available on streaming platforms. All the links are down below. My Twitter is also down below, where I discuss a lot of Rockets content. Thank you for watching.